Hi, I'm Daniel, a co-founder at Chainloop. Imagine a world the SecOps and compliance team had today. I work with many development teams in my org, building hundreds of applications. But before I dig into security and compliance for these apps, my first real challenge is to collect supply chain metadata like software bill of materials, SBOMs, VEX files, test reports, and other pieces of evidence. Unfortunately, these metadata are in silos today, often incomplete or optional, and I want them trusted in one location and enforced for security and compliance. And Chainloop offers all those benefits. The vision here is to automate trust for software delivery, but the first step to get there is the open source metadata vault for software supply chain. Chainloop simplifies the metadata collection with an API between developers on the left and SecOps, product, compliance, audit, and other teams on the right. It streamlines the process of storing metadata in a trustworthy and compliant way, and it distributes metadata for further analysis or auditing. Okay, so we have our Chainloop account, we have our Azure Blob storage attached, we have our dependency track service for CVE scanning and open source license compliance, and we have Slack for notifications. Now, the second problem is how to enforce metadata collection, how to communicate new requirements from the right to the left to developers, and how to monitor this progress. To be honest, the current process is not scalable anymore. But thanks to Chainloop, we get declarative, versioned, easy and effective way to define and propagate compliance requirements. We call them contracts. And in this example, we are asking all developers to start providing CycloneDX.json SBOM. As I said, our Chainloop account on the security and operations side is ready. I've already onboarded one of developer teams by giving them a Chainloop token. They will use this token to connect to Chainloop, and we will watch the progress later.
Hi, my name is Miguel, and today I'll show you how I added Chainloop to this repository. So I started by creating a pull request. The pull request has this snippet, which is an additional step on the CI pipeline that it's configured to talk to Chainloop through an API token that was provided. Once I push the changes, you will see that step, but it is failing. But Chainloop is telling me why. It is basically saying that there are two requirements that haven't been met. It's asking for an artifact, which is the jar file that I'm building, and it's also asking me for the software bill of materials. And I can just provide that to Chainloop by indicating where he can find those files by modifying the chainloop.yaml file. And once I make that change, we'll see that the compliance check is green, and now we are fully compliant and making the other team happy. So at this point, I can just merge this pull request and will be compliant, and my job is done. Whenever the security and operations teams has any requirements, I will get notified in a very similar way, and I can do the same process again. So this information is not only in GitHub, it has also been sent to the security and compliance team. And now they're very happy, not just because of the content of the report, but also because under the hood, we have done an attestation process that follows their standards. We have created an in-dot attestation. It has been signed so they can trust it on their end. But from my side as a developer, I didn't even need to know about any of this. And that's why I'm very happy. I became compliant just by following some simple steps in less than 5 minutes. That's all. Thank you.
Now we can verify all metadata sent by developers to Chainloop. We'll switch to the terminal window first. We'll use Chainloop CLI to list workflow runs. I can see some of them failed, probably because of missing requirements. If you take a look at the latest one, you can get all information you have already seen with developers on GitHub. In this case, we also use public key. That's why we can verify if everything is okay. In the end, I want to also show you that if you take the digest of that SBOM CycloneDX.json file, you can download it directly from Azure to my laptop with the command line tool from Chainloop and I can see the value here. Now, what about integrations? Let's switch to the web browser, and I will show you how all artifacts, metadata, and attestations are being stored in Azure Blob Storage. Our SecOps team is notified about new attestations. And CycloneDX files are being pushed to the dependency track service. I can see all dependencies here. I can search for log4j. I can check all vulnerabilities and policy violations. Chainloop helps enterprises trust any software artifact built and consumed across an organization or distributed to customers. With Chainloop, we get a future-proof platform allowing SecOps to easily onboard new teams and monitor their progress on their security and compliance journey, add new security and compliance requirements, because SBOM is just the beginning. Tomorrow it can be a VEX file, test report, or a CV scan result. Finally, add new tools and services for metadata processing through Chainloop integrations, and developers don't have to even know about it. There is no need to share credentials with them. And the list of supported platforms integration is growing, as you can see on the left. What's next? Full traceability and provenance for all software artifacts, and Chainloop allowing you to read software artifact barcode. But more on this next time. Thank you.